For nearly a century, the Fexium Kingdom wielded its power through insidious mind control, manipulating countless civilizations across the galaxy. Their reign seemed unchallengeable until they encountered the Imperium of Mera. Unlike other civilizations, the Merans were uniquely resistant to Fexium's manipulation, their minds too hardened by struggle and warfare to succumb. The Galactic Council, confident in their superiority, dispatched the Sieta, a Fexium ambassadorial ship, to the polar system. Ambassador Kes'haran, renowned for her ability to infiltrate and control minds, expected an easy conquest. But as the Sieta approached Mera, it was met with a star system bristling with defensive weaponry and military patrols. The Merans, though technologically primitive by Fexium standards, had turned their entire system into a fortress. Standing on the bridge of her ship, Kes'haran marveled at the Merans' militarization. She thought it barbaric and primitive, but also oddly impressive. As the ship descended, a Meran warship, crude and bristling with weaponry, emerged from hyperspace, its design stark and functional, a testament to the Merans' focus on war. The Merans attempted communication using light signals, a primitive method that reflected their basic yet determined approach. Kes'haran, a member of the Fexium crew, sought to manipulate the Meran crew by delving into their thoughts, but she encountered nothing but hostility and unwavering determination. The Meran boarding party, led by the formidable Sergeant Reeves, swiftly overpowered the Fexium crew, demonstrating their superior combat prowess and tactical efficiency. Desperate to regain control, Kes'haran employed her mind control abilities on Sergeant Reeves, morphing her appearance to resemble someone he deeply loved. She hoped this emotional manipulation would sway him, but instead, Reeves responded with unyielding violence. His aggressive reaction left her gasping for breath, shattered both physically and mentally by the failure of her usually reliable abilities. Dragged through the bowels of Mera's mega sprawls, Kes'haran saw a planet dedicated to war and industry. She was brought before General Falcon in an atrium, lush with greenery, starkly contrasting the dying world outside. Kes'haran tried to offer Fexium's deceptive peace, promising relief from suffering. But Falcon, unwavering, rejected her offers, emphasizing the Meran belief in evolution through struggle and hardship. As Kes'haran recognized her defeat, she ceased her manipulations, revealing her true form in a moment of resigned vulnerability. Her attempts to influence had failed against the unwavering resolve of the Merans. Falcon, standing resolute, declared their awareness of the Fexium's tactics and their readiness to resist any form of subjugation. The Fexium's illusion of control was shattered irreparably. This marked the beginning of a new era, one where the Merans' indomitable spirit emerged as a powerful beacon against oppression. Their defiance and determination to maintain their autonomy and resist manipulation were now clear to all. The encounter underscored a pivotal shift in the balance of power, showcasing the Merans as a formidable force unwilling to succumb to external control. As the Fexium ambassador Kes'haran was forcibly escorted through the halls of the Meran stronghold, she couldn't help but be overwhelmed by the stark contrast between the lush atrium and the dying world outside. The Merans had managed to create pockets of vibrant life amidst the desolation, a testament to their resilience and determination. Sergeant Reeves, who had been tasked with bringing Kes'haran to the Meran leaders, remained stoic and unyielding. His grip on her arm was firm, but not cruel. Kes'haran could sense the undercurrent of anger and sorrow that flowed through him, emotions she had hoped to exploit to her advantage. The halls were adorned with grand banners bearing the insignia of the Meran Imperium, each symbolizing a legacy of resilience and power. Statues of their greatest heroes, cast in bronze and steel, stood tall like silent sentinels, guarding the very heart of their civilization. Each monument and flag seemed to whisper tales of valor and sacrifice, a testament to the enduring spirit of the Meran people. As Kes'haran walked through these hallowed corridors, she could feel the palpable weight of history pressing down on her. It was as if the walls themselves held the collective memories of a people who had faced unimaginable hardships and emerged stronger and more united. The legacy of the Meran Imperium was one of triumph over adversity, and this realization filled her with a profound sense of awe and respect for their indomitable spirit. As they neared the grand chamber where the Meran leaders awaited, Kes'haran took a deep breath, steeling herself for the imminent confrontation. She was acutely aware that her usual tactics of manipulation and mind control would be of little use in this scenario. The Merans were unlike any other species she had encountered. Their minds were fortified strongholds, and their willpower acted as an impenetrable shield against her abilities. Entering the chamber, Kes'haran felt the gravity of the moment weighing heavily upon her. She had faced many adversaries, but the Merans' reputation for mental resilience and unyielding determination set them apart. Their defiance and strength of character were legendary, and she knew that this would not be an easy encounter. The air was thick with tension, and the challenge ahead was clear. She would need more than her usual strategies to influence these formidable beings. The doors to the chamber swung open with a grand, echoing sound, and Kes'haran was promptly ushered inside by the imposing guards. The room she entered was vast and awe-inspiring, with walls lined with high-tech screens displaying a myriad of data streams and intricate tactical maps. The atmosphere was charged with tension and the hum of advanced technology. At the center of this organized chaos stood General Falcon, an imposing figure whose tall stature and stern expression commanded immediate respect and attention. His eyes, sharp and penetrating, seemed to bore into her very soul, assessing her with an intensity that made her acutely aware of the gravity of the situation. As she stepped further into the room, Kes'haran could feel the weight of Falcon's gaze, a gaze that spoke of countless battles fought and won, of strategies devised and executed with ruthless precision. The screens around them flickered with detailed information, from planetary defense grids to fleet movements, each one a testament to the Merans' meticulous planning and formidable capabilities. General Falcon's presence was overwhelming, his demeanor exuding a blend of authority and unyielding resolve. In that moment, Kes'haran knew that she was not merely facing a military leader, but a symbol of the Meran Imperium's indomitable spirit and unbreakable will. "Welcome, Ambassador Kes'haran," Falcon said, his voice cold and authoritative. "You have come a long way to meet us. I trust your journey was enlightening." Kes'haran forced a smile, though it did little to mask her unease. "General Falcon, I come bearing gifts and the promise of peace. The Fexium only wishes to bring prosperity to your people." Falcon's eyes narrowed, and he took a step closer to her. "Peace? Prosperity? Tell me, Ambassador, do you take us for fools? We know what your people have done to countless civilizations. We know of your manipulations, your deceptions." Kes'haran's smile faltered. "General, you misunderstand. We only seek to help." "Help," Falcon interrupted, his voice rising with barely contained anger. "Your kind brings nothing but subjugation and enslavement. You strip away our will, our very identity, and call it peace. We will not be fooled by your lies." Desperation clawed at Kes'haran's heart. She had to find a way to reach him, to make him see reason. "General, please. Your people have suffered so much. We can offer you relief and comfort. You don't have to live like this." Falcon's expression hardened, and he took another step forward, looming over her. "You think we want comfort? Do you think we seek an easy life? No, Ambassador. We embrace our struggle. It is through hardship that we grow, through pain that we evolve. Your so-called gifts would strip away our strength, our spirit. We would rather die than accept them." Kes'haran felt a chill run down her spine. She had never encountered such unwavering resolve, such a complete rejection of everything she had to offer. The Merans were truly a different breed. Seeing no other option, she dropped her facade, allowing her true form to be seen. The Merans in the room barely reacted, their expressions unchanged. It was as if they had already seen through her deceit from the beginning. Falcon stepped back, his eyes never leaving hers. "We know why you are here, Ambassador. We know what you intended to do. But you will not succeed. We will not be enslaved by your kind. Now you will return to your people and deliver this message. Mera stands strong. We will never yield." With that decisive gesture, Falcon turned away, signaling the unmistakable end of their tense meeting. Kes'haran, feeling the sting of her defeat, was escorted back to her ship, each step a reminder of the heavy weight of her failure. Her mind raced with the implications of what had transpired, knowing she had underestimated the resolve and strength of the Merans. The corridors back to her vessel seemed longer and more foreboding, filled with the silent judgment of those she passed. As the ship lifted off from the Meran surface, Kes'haran couldn't help but cast one last glance at the world below. It was a harsh, resilient world, scarred by countless struggles yet standing firm in defiance of her kind. The landscape was a testament to the indomitable spirit of its inhabitants, a people who had faced insurmountable odds and emerged not only unbroken but victorious. The realization settled heavily on her shoulders. She had faced a force unlike any other, one that could not be easily manipulated or subdued. As the shuttle approached Mera, Kes'haran's thoughts raced. She had failed in her initial mission, and now she was being taken to the heart of the Meran civilization, a place she had only glimpsed through fragmented memories. The sight that awaited her was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The shuttle descended through layers of thick, polluted clouds, revealing a sprawling cityscape that stretched as far as the eye could see. Massive skyscrapers pierced the sky, their facades adorned with military banners. The ground below was a chaotic maze of industrial complexes, transportation networks, and habitation blocks. Everywhere she looked, there was evidence of the Meran commitment to war and survival. The shuttle landed on a platform high atop one of the skyscrapers. The ramp lowered with a hiss, and Kes'haran was once again dragged out by Sergeant Reeves. The air was thick with the smell of sulfur and burnt fuel, making her gag. She steeled herself, knowing that showing weakness now would only worsen her situation. Reeves led her through a series of corridors and elevators, each step taking them deeper into the heart of the Meran stronghold. The walls were lined with statues and murals depicting scenes of battle and victory. Kes'haran couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. The Merans were not just warriors. They were conquerors who had risen from the ashes of their own destruction. Finally, they reached a massive chamber, its ceiling towering high above. It was filled with the hum of machinery and the quiet chatter of officers and technicians. At the center stood a command dais, surrounded by holographic displays and tactical maps. General Falcon waited, his expression as stern and unforgiving as ever. "Welcome back, Ambassador," Falcon said, his voice echoing through the chamber. "I trust you have had time to reflect on your situation." Kes'haran straightened, summoning all her diplomatic training. "General Falcon, I am here to offer peace and cooperation. The Fexium wish to bring prosperity to your people." Falcon's eyes narrowed. "Prosperity? You call enslavement prosperity? We know what your people have done to others. We know the truth behind your so-called gifts." Kes'haran felt a pang of desperation. She had to find a way to convince him. "General, your world is dying. Your people suffer every day. We can offer you relief, technology, a better life." Falcon's expression didn't change. "And in return, you would take our freedom. You would strip us of our will, our identity." "No, Ambassador. We Merans have fought too hard and sacrificed too much to ever accept such an offer." He gestured to a nearby screen which flickered to life, displaying scenes of Mera's history. Images of war, devastation, and rebuilding played out in a grim montage. "This is what we are, Ambassador. We are forged in fire, tempered by struggle. It is through hardship that we have become strong. We do not seek an easy life. We seek to endure, to evolve." Kes'haran watched, a sense of hopelessness settling over her. The Merans were unlike any species she had encountered. They embraced their suffering, using it as a catalyst for growth. Her usual tactics of manipulation and promises of comfort were useless here. "General," she pleaded, "there must be some way we can find common ground. The Fexium can help you in ways you can't imagine." Falcon shook his head. "We do not need your help. We need our freedom. We need to remain who we are. That is something you can never understand." With a wave of his hand, Falcon dismissed her. Reeves stepped forward, his grip firm, but not unkind. "Come, Ambassador. It's time for you to leave." As Kes'haran was escorted back to the shuttle, she couldn't shake the feeling of defeat. The Merans had shown her a side of themselves she had not anticipated, a strength that came not from their technology or their weapons, but from their very essence. They were a people who had endured the worst and emerged unbroken. As the shuttle lifted off and headed back into space, Kes'haran knew that her report to the Fexium would be one of failure. But it would also be a warning. The Merans were not to be underestimated. They were a force unlike any other, and they would fight to the last breath to defend their freedom. As Kes'haran was escorted back to the shuttle, she couldn't shake the feeling of defeat. The Merans had shown her a side of themselves she had not anticipated, a strength that came not from their technology or their weapons, but from their very essence. They were a people who had endured the worst and emerged unbroken. General Falcon's words echoed in her mind. "We do not seek an easy life. We seek to endure, to evolve." This sentiment was foreign to her, as the Fexium had always believed in comfort and control, using their abilities to manipulate and dominate other species. The Merans, however, thrived on struggle and hardship, using it as a catalyst for growth. Reeves remained silent as they boarded the shuttle, his grip firm, but not unkind. Kes'haran glanced at him, wondering how such a diverse and chaotic species could produce individuals of such unwavering resolve. The shuttle's engines roared to life, and they lifted off, leaving the oppressive atmosphere of Mera behind. The journey back to the Fexium vessel was tense. Kes'haran could sense the determination in the Meran soldiers, their minds focused and unyielding. She dared not probe deeper, fearing another painful backlash. Instead, she reflected on her failure and what it meant for the Fexium. The Merans were not like any other species the Fexium had encountered. They could not be manipulated or controlled in the same way. Their suffering had forged them into something unique, something resilient. Kes'haran realized that the Fexium would have to find a new approach if they hoped to deal with the Merans in the future. As the shuttle docked with the Fexium vessel, Kes'haran took a deep breath, steeling herself for the report she would have to give. Her superiors would not be pleased, but they needed to understand the reality of the situation. The Merans were not to be underestimated. Inside the Fexium vessel, Kes'haran was greeted by a tense silence. The crew could sense the gravity of her mission and its outcome. She made her way to the command center, where High Ambassador Duren awaited her. His expression was stern, but there was a flicker of curiosity in his eyes. "Report," Kes'haran Duren commanded. Kes'haran straightened, recounting the events of her encounter with the Merans. She described their world, their determination, and their refusal to be swayed by promises of comfort and peace. Duren listened intently, his gaze never leaving her. When she finished, There was a moment of silence. Daren finally spoke, his tone measured. The Merans are unlike any species we have encountered. Their resilience is both a strength and a challenge. We must adapt our strategies if we are to engage with them successfully. Kes'haran nodded. They are a formidable people, High Ambassador. They value their freedom above all else and will not easily surrender it. Daren considered this. We will need to find another way. Perhaps diplomacy and mutual respect will yield better results. The Fexium have much to learn from this encounter. As Kes'haran left the command center, she couldn't help but feel a sense of hope. The Merans had shown her that there were other ways to live, other ways to thrive. Perhaps in time, the Fexium could learn to embrace these principles as well. The shuttle lifted off once more, leaving Mera behind, but Kes'haran knew that this was not the end. The Merans had left an indelible mark on her, and through her, on the Fexium. The future would be challenging, but it would also be filled with new possibilities. As she gazed out at the dying world below, Kes'haran couldn't help but feel a grudging respect for the people of Mera. The planet, scarred and struggling, was home to a resilient and unyielding population that had faced innumerable hardships. Despite the desolation that marked their world, the Merans' spirit remained unbroken, their determination shining through the adversity they had endured. This respect grew as she reflected on their journey. The Merans were not merely survivors. They were a force that would shape the future of the galaxy. Their unyielding resolve and indomitable spirit would undoubtedly influence the destiny of countless worlds, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of galactic history. Their struggle and perseverance were not just a testament to their survival, but a beacon of hope and resilience for all species to witness.